This is bigger, but we're gonna have to move through it pretty quickly because it's already 8:12. This is a proof, so. Okay. Backroads, American Gothic horror tabletop role-playing game. So Backroads, this right here is literally, because of traffic, 20 minutes away from me. So, as you know, I love looking at the table of contents. So we have our character creation system, we have our background, have our roles. So since Backwater is here, I am curious, do I have to have the core book in order to run this? Because I was looking at it and it seems like you touch on everything in the core book in here. Obviously, if you have both of them, you have access to more monsters and NPCs. But is this a standalone? Or do you really need to have that? Both books standalone. There you go. Both books are standalone. You should make that clear in your marketing. Because you call it an expansion, which makes me think, oh, then I have to have the first book. So that's really cool. I love that it's standalone. Very cool. I don't think using the word expansion is wrong, but it does put in my mind that I have to have the core book in order to get into this, which is what I thought until I was looking at the table of contents and I was like, wait a minute. I think this has everything that's in the core book. So I don't know if I need the core book. So this is character creation. It follows the same structure that we established in the first game, in the core book we were looking at, which core book isn't even the correct term in the original. In the first book, I guess, is more the correct term because you don't need it. This is great news. I'm actually really excited to hear that. I thought you needed it. I think it's really cool. So are all your books, especially the ones you're kickstarting, are they all standalone? That's great. Wasteland, this is going to follow a lot of that similar introduction in the first book. We've got what this is, how it works, what areas it covers. Exploration horror. I love that this lays the groundwork for both the GM and the players to talk about what they want to go through, what they kind of want, what they expect out of this game. And as I said in the previous book, I love that you can use this a little bit to guide a session 0. You can talk about what technologies are here, how you want to handle racism, because it does follow the American Gothic. Racism is not a theme in this game. The series seeks to establish a setting in which everyone can comfortably roleplay without erasing or ignoring centuries of oppression. So I think there's some discussion happening here, and then you can have that discussion further at your table. And then I do think it's interesting that What is a Tabletop RPG has moved a little bit, because in the other book it was closer to the front. So it's interesting that this is here. And then we have our characters and character creation. So we have our terminology, which is pretty straightforward. We have our character sheet, which doesn't look much different than the Backwater character sheet. If it did, it would make sense though, because it's in a different region and you might have to encounter different things. I'm not going to build another random character, so I'm just going to sort of flip through this and talk about what we did last time. This is how you build a character, and I love how it's set up. I think this helps establish what you're about to get into. You determine your characters, you choose an origin, you determine attributes, you choose an archetype, you choose an ideal, you choose family fortune, you add traits, you spend skill points, you calculate coin, you purchase gear. But it was very intuitive. I did get a little confused because I didn't know that there were traits that came with ideal. I thought it was just, you're compassionate at the end. But by choosing compassionate, that tells you how to assign your skills and such. So something to keep in mind is that everything plugs into something else. It does look like this has maybe more examples, or maybe I just overlooked them because I did flip through that section pretty quickly in the original book. I really want to get to the stuff about St. Louis, so I am going through the character section pretty fast. Oh, there's our skill list. Oh, I love this. I love how this is all listed out. Very easy to digest, quick information. I don't see a ton of huge paragraphs. We've got our gear that you can look through. I love these sections here that make it easy to flip through or see where you are. We have our companions. I love birds. Oh, you can have a cat. That makes sense. I do believe cats are dangerous in this world. There's like a wild cat situation. Oh, this cat has extra feet. That's really cool. Take a look at this cat here. That's great. More paws is never a bad thing, right? Then we have some information for creating a backstory. Like it looks like this is like an example, which is great. I probably should have read that earlier before I started building my character. So backgrounds are always good, or examples are always great. Let us... Okay, so let's take a look. I really want to look at some of the St. Louis stuff. So a Scavenger's Guide, player character knowledge. Things have gotten a lot harder since the companies took over. Everyone was upset when Mayor Hodges was killed in the street. No one knew who killed her, but the sheriff resigned a month later, and all of a sudden the whole town was run by company men. At first it was good, so we didn't ask too many questions. They pay well and everyone had a bit more spending money in their pockets. But they started setting rules for scabbers, only allowing so many expeditions and refusing to buy salvage from those who weren't licensed with their quartermasters. I joined a few different Providence expeditions and made some coin. Nothing to write home about, but I was never starved. Went into the ruins a few times with Arkwright executives, and even joined up with a Dominion patrol that went deep into the ruins hunting a flood of hollows. Those expeditions gave me coin, but they were more important. They gave me experience, which is a hard teacher, and I'm lucky to have survived her lessons. But now Providence has brought back in their stuffy founders. And you can't swing a dead cat without hitting some airheaded Yankee or sea-touched golfer come to make their fortune. Too many scabbers, and the village has been picked clean of the best salvage. Hasn't been a decent haul in over a year. Yep, I sure got out at the right time, and I pity you latecomers. Us old-timers moan about the good old days, but trust me, it was actually true. And then we have some great spread. So then we have some information about the history of St. Louis, which I can't read all of because we'll be here all night. There's just so much great content here, and gosh, I want to dive in. So essentially with that text, we learned that a company came and sort of took over, and they made it harder to go out and scavenge the areas around St. Louis. And now time has passed, and new people might be coming to scavenge around St. Louis, but unfortunately, a lot of it has been picked clean, and what hasn't been picked clean is being made difficult by the company that overlooks the area. And then we have religion and cults, which are a very big issue. Given its distance from major American settlements, St. Louis has become a haven for borderline heretical movements among the founders. Yeah, that's probably true in real life. The group who also call themselves the dissenters, but are known among the local non-founder population as sticklers due to their strict societal beliefs and insufferable condemnation of nearly everything enjoyable. Their goal is to purify their church, believing in institutions of the church to be corrupt, criticizing it for its simony, wealth, and lack of political involvement. This has earned them little favor among the residents of Meacham, where they are routinely mocked, pelted with mud, beaten, or even killed for preaching their dire creed from the wrong street corner. Yeah. So great lore. We have some information about technology. The City of the Arch is home to various cults who worship technology and machines. Maybe I'm in one of those cults. I like technology and machines. Yeah, the internets conspire. Well, let's do a quick flip through while the internet is here, and I will wrap it up. So as I said, there's some really cool. I love this art. It's a cardinal with 3 eyes, which is funny because our baseball team is Cardinals. We've got some NPCs and learning about the leadership in the area. I'm checking to make sure I'm still online. Lots of content. Gosh, this is so great. Lest you find a ghost town haunted by undead or their corpses, let these tales rest in place. So this is still player character knowledge that we're looking at. So these are things that player characters can know about the location and the area. Let's see, where's the arch? I don't see it. I know it's on here because I found it. Maybe it's not on here. Anyway, that's a cool map. I'm like all anxious we're gonna go down again, so I'm... Ooh, that's great art. So then we have... There's a lot of great information in here. We have some more NPCs, some cowboy information. The Moonshiner Cave. Caves are a big... And there's cave travel. Caves are a big thing in St. Louis, and just in the area, in the region, caves are a big thing. So then we have more information about Backbone, which I assume is the exact same that's in the original book we looked at, so I don't think we need to go into too much detail about what you would find in Backbone. So it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be a d20. You set your dice goal. You try to roll above it. If you meet it or roll below, you failed. And you have modifiers that you add to those rolls. More weapons, customization, and gear. So there you go. Those are the rules. And then you have your extra information to help and examples to help build out that stuff. And so here's the Game Master knowledge, the secrets of St. Louis. This is how... Also, I love this cat. This is great. There are hazards include pickpockets, yep, and stray animals. Cats are apparently a big problem. This one is like, has some kind of acid dripping out of its mouth, so definitely an issue. Then we have what costs would be here. Eureka. There's the arch. Eureka. That's interesting that Eureka's up here. Washington Square. I want to dive into this. Oh, here's some more NPCs. Costs to get a rowboat. So lots, like this continues on. There's so much. If you want to run a game, a Gothic, Southern Gothic horror game set in St. Louis, this is the remains of St. Louis. So this is like a hexcrawl map here. To the west of the Mississippi River are the remnants of Old World St. Louis. To reach the remnants of St. Louis, scavengers must either breach the city's walls or take a ferry from Meacham to the ferry. The ferry is by far the safest route. The remains of St. Louis are divided into three parts: the village, the tangle, and the ruins. The village is by far the safest region of St. Louis. It is where the ferry lands and where many scavengers set up base. The village used to have an abundance of old world technology and artifacts, however its resources are drying up and its buildings are picked over. Where's the arch? There it is. So there's the arch. And I guess these are village areas because they're blue. And then we have the tangle. Seems purple and yellow. Oh, this is really cool. The tangle has a greater abundance, and yet that owes it to the fact that few scavengers like to trek a veritable jungle of vines and carnivorous plants, or to cross the maw, a nearly impossible sinkhole. Yet day by day it is looking more promising to scavengers who brave the remains of St. Louis. Finally, the ruins are the most dangerous region of St. Louis. They are also the most abundant, and with well-preserved old world artifacts. The two are likely correlated. There are more monsters here, and the streets are maze-like. St. Louis is maze-like, for sure. Beyond the ruins is the city's edge. There's a well-built, where a wall was built not long after the end. Survivors of the end built the wall to keep monsters out of the city, but it was almost as if the monsters were coming from within. Soon the survivors were forced to leave the city into towns or settlements or outskirts. Some refused to leave the city. Cool. So we're probably down here somewhere. Oh, so we're like a camp situation probably. Cool. This is a great goat. Great goat. So, and then this breaks down the hex map that we just saw, and it gives more details about the locations and the areas to explore. That's really cool. I really love that. I think that would be so much fun to... So this is more like if you want to run a hex crawl in the system, this is going to be a great way to do that. Oh, cool. I wonder if I flipped past it already. I'm still nervous I'm gonna go down. Even though it looks good. I'm wondering if it was a Twitch-wide issue, to be honest. This is This is something right here. This is really cool. This is horrifying and great and awful and cool. Spider car. We have some information about Kansas City. No tech lingers here. So Kansas City is about 5 hours from here. So I wonder how long it would be in this world to get to Kansas City. I love that it gets a little note, pretty much like, don't go here. It's got haint and no technology. Aww. Got a puma / cougar / mountain lion, whatever you want to call them. Winter settlements, potential hazards, a two-headed wildcat. 4 secrets of the Ozark Forest. To find the... So there's a trove. Complicated cave system. Yep, there definitely is. The caves here are very spooky. More like Nozarks, yeah. Abandoned steamboat. River crossings. Well-known wastelanders. So we have some folk heroes. It's so hard for me not to just say folk horror. The caves at Crystal Crossing. We've got more NPCs along with their stats and buried secrets. You know how I love buried secrets. We have some story hooks. Clues to the events of the end can be found in the ruins of St. Louis. So the end is the event that made this world post-apocalyptic. So that's one of the reasons, like as a player, you might be really curious as to what's going on. These include everything from newspaper, magazines, letters, emails, and journals to graffiti. These can be found altered. These can be changed and altered so long as St. Louis avoided enough disaster for its ruins to be preserved. So then here are some clues as to what happened. I like that the game sort of gives that. This is an email. Subject, sorry. I'm sorry to say that I have the scarlet. Chances are I had it when I visited yesterday. Stay home for now, and if you get it, stay well. I've never felt so poorly in my life. Oh, the scarlet. Oh no. Oh no. We have some journals, some advanced technology, Delta Undead Dispersion Device. That's fun. These seem like, oh, enchanted items. So these are some like magical items, like a Hellsong torch. The Hellsong torch burns with a bright and smoky yellow light. While it burns, it emits a soft hissing noise heard only by the bearer. As an action while equipped, you can use a torch to shed a 15-foot radius of light for up to 1 hour. While within the Hellsong's torch light radius, certain types of threats do not cast a shadow, including preternatural and cursed humans, fiends, and the living dead. Preternatural. I don't know why I was struggling so much. I wonder why we don't want them to cast a shadow. That's interesting. Then we have a random item locations, how to do that. Oh, yeah, and here's the table. That's fun. You did. I'll go back. I'll go back. It's worth finding again. It's worth... Hang on. Oh gosh, where was it? Okay, well this guy's cool. So at least take this guy in. He's pretty cool. And then spider car. Oh, the internet issues already interrupted me. It's fine. We got a cool rat too. I think it's actually... Oh, is that it? There it is. Check out the spider car. Is it everything you thought it would be and worse at the same time? But worse in the best way. So yeah, it does have some fangs. It's very cool. Oh yeah, it's great. Definitely great. So we have random locations. And then we have a monster section and non-player characters. And this art is sick. This art is so sick. So the monsters in this, we have the same how to build an NPC or a threat and how to set stats. We also have tables, so like selecting the difficulty or decreasing the difficulty and the mutations they can have. So that's great. I love fucked up deer content. Yay, for me, for me, for me. We have humans, so a non-player character index. Random name table, always great to have a name table. So then we have some more stuff. We've got priests and sight words and sleuths. Stats. Oh, we got this creepy ghost thing again. I love it so much. So again, a lot of this is in the other book, but we found out you don't need it to run. Everything is cross-referenceable, and I love that. I love that you can pick up the St. Louis book and go. You don't need to have that other book, which is great. The other book is also great, though. This one is a bit more robust. It's quite thicker. Oh, leeches. That guy is really creepy. Momo, the Missouri Monster. Momo, also known as the Missouri Monster, is a legendary ape-like creature that roams the northern outskirts of the American lands. Rumors of its existence date back to the Old World. I'm gonna start spreading these rumors for sure. Don't worry, I'm on the case. The people of Missouri will know about Momo. Oh, look at this guy! Look at this hellhound, he looks great. And then we've got the Ozark Howler, who is adorable. I love both of them. They're monsters, but also very, like, it's clear this cat ate someone. But I'm like, oh no, he's got a little boot. The Stinker, this guy's really cool. The Worm of St. Louis. Oh. Ruling the skies of St. Louis is the legendary worm, a giant bird that has been spotted only a handful of times. Some say it's so large that it blots out the sun, and that its wingspan is larger than a city block. In truth, it can't be much bigger than a horse, but any scabber who catches the worm's attention will tell you that's bad enough. The master of the skies, no other bird dares take flight. When the worm hunts, animals that spot its shadow know to seek shelter. So one thing I do want to look at is the archetypes. I want to see if they're different in this book because I didn't take a close look at that. And in the other book they were seer. I don't remember what they were. 21. What do we got? Oh, these are different, I think. So we have a Spelunker, a Sparklock, a Spiritualist, and a Steadfast. So in the other book we had a Seer. So I wonder if you can mix and match those if you wanted. If you really wanted a class from this book. You have the Savant, the Seeker, the Slayer, and the Seer. I wonder if you can mix those up. But I did just establish that these two have different classes, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, both of these are great. I will recommend checking them out. They have a new Kickstarter that is coming up very, very soon in July. Take a look at, follow the Kickstarter page and follow them on Twitter to find out more information. And thanks so much for joining me. I hope you can hear me say bye, but thanks again, and I will probably see you sometime next week.